Well, welcome to the 8th installment of the Executive Leadership Council Business Brief. I'm Mike Hyder, President and CEO of the Executive Leadership Council. Today, I am honored to have with me a proven maven in media. She has worked in the media and entertainment space for the last 25 years, generating millions of dollars in revenue while working for some of the most powerful companies in the world, including the WME talent agency and several television networks, including CNN, A&E, the History Channel, and BET networks. And while at BET, she created and ran the first and only network for Black women, BET Her. She is currently the CEO of 1145 Holdings, LLC, which owns Ebony Holdings, LLC. The company includes all assets related to Ebony and Jet. She is charged with the creation of the vision and activating the strategy for these iconic cultural brands as she steers them into the 21st century. I present to some and introduce to others none other than Michelle Thornton G. Welcome, Michelle.
Hey, Mike, how are you? Let me tell you, ELC family, I'm in good company.
Well, I'm so excited, and thank you for joining me today, Michelle. This is just a real treat for me and for all of us and our listeners. So let's get at it, shall we?
Yeah, for sure.
With your first year as CEO of this iconic brand coming to a close, share with us some of the highlights.
Thanks, Mike, for asking me that question. It's been a year. So, the Bridgemans, Junior and Eden, Bridgman purchased Ebony and Jet out of bankruptcy, and they signed the paperwork on MLK Day, which was January 18th, and they installed me as CEO on January 19th, which just happened to be John Johnson's birthday. So I always tell people I'm walking in divine order. What I know for sure is that our tagline is move Black forward. And we've been doing that with everything we've been doing, getting the site up, making sure that we're telling our stories through a Black lens. So we have amazing Black journalists. Our editor-in-chief, Mario Bobo, has done a great job. I know everyone has seen those iconic covers that we're bringing to life. So that, on the site side has been really important to us to get our footing. That is the storefront. And from there, we've done amazing things in 11 months. We stood up the studio, hired Ty Cameron to come on and launch Ebony Studios. We have a couple content deals that we're going to bring to life. A little Black girl from Oakland, California was in a meeting today, that would be me, about NFTs in the crypto space and how can we make sure creators are creating and getting compensated instead of just likes. So that's exciting to me. Jet is coming back. Oh, let's go. Beauty of the Week, page 43 is the #1 question. That's coming back. I'm excited about bringing Jet back. E-commerce, Ebony Institute. So we have launched the storefront, but there's a bunch of verticals that we know are coming forth. The last thing I'm going to say is that John Johnson started an amazing brand. His daughter, Linda, and I are friends, and we're trying to make sure that we can continue this legacy so that it will live on forever. And you do that by making sure you have a great footprint, and then you build from there. And that's what we're doing every single day for this community.
That is amazing. So let's just repeat the tagline one more time.
Move Black forward, to move Black forward.
To move Black forward.
Yeah.
There you go. That's it right there.
That's it.
Well, you've been, Michelle, transparent in that your journey has had trials and challenges. How did you navigate those challenges and still manage to own and accomplish your agenda?
Anybody listening today, whether you're a starting up in the business, a middle manager, if you are at the height of your career, the one thing that I did, I believe that was really smart, is that I own my brand. I own my identity. I own my authenticity. And so whether that was through the books I wrote, whether that was through my side hustle, oftentimes my corporate America would deem us invisible. Our voices are not heard. We're not invited to the table. And so I found out a long time ago to create your own. And so if you don't want to be invisible, you better have some other type of hustle going on. And you've done the same thing, right, in the diversity and inclusion space about around power and the books that you've written. And so I recommend that to every single person. Write your blog, tell your story, command your presence, be able to tell a story, make sure that, you know, the following that you have, you'd want to bring to your grandmama's house, whatever that is. It can't just be singular in today's world that's moving fast. You have to stand out. You have to prove that you're capable of doing things other than what you're doing in your day to day. And the last thing that I would say, where you show up and give service, oftentimes you'll be able to get something that you'll be able to use, because that is how God moves. So when corporate America wouldn't allow me a seat at the table or to run a P&L, I did it for a foundation or a charity, or where I volunteered my time. And a lot of the leadership skills that were on my resume when I got this job at 54 years old came from the community, because corporate America would not allow me an opportunity to actually live up to my skill set. So when someone says no, you go get it somewhere else and you do good in the world and God will bless you.
You know, Michelle, every time you speak, I hear the word truth coming out of your mouth. And that's another one of those moments, because that's what every one of us needs to hear. And I so appreciate you sharing. And that's what transparency is about, right?
Yeah.
But I really appreciate that. You know, and so speaking of the fact that you're part of the Black media space, how would you, Michelle Thornton G., assess the state of Black media today?
You know, I would say it's like this. It's like the state of the Black world, right? We exist. We're pushing forward, but we're still not given what we have earned, deserve. We're still not in the rightful place. So what do I mean by that? When you think about how we generate revenue to stay in business, clients push their business through agencies, and typically those agencies, because I've walked those hallways many years, they don't look like us, right? Mm-hmm. And so they don't value this brand. And how can you create Black wealth if you're not investing in Black media? Because then I can't hire the 40 Black people that can take care of their families. I can't tell stories. If you can see it, you can be it to other people. So we're so important and so critical, yet we're oftentimes trying to be left out of the conversation. People are telling us, I can reach Black people through other mediums, but you really can't reach them with the truth and honesty that they deserve. And so we're still fighting in these streets. And I'll say this, and Rich knows this, and Butch knows this, and Morgan DeBond knows this, and my girl Caroline Wanga knows this, that those aren't my competition. Those are my friends. Those are my brothers and sisters. And if corporate America is trying to tell me that there's only room for one, then there's going to be a problem, because there's room for all of us, because we get so little bit anyway. And so I want to say that we're relevant, we're important, we're telling the stories that other people don't want to tell. Even through COVID, Mike, 80% of the stories that informed this community came through Black media, because other people didn't want to tell our stories unless it was telling us to go get vaccinated, which I am, I don't care, right? So like, we're so important to make sure history is written down appropriately.
Yes. And, you know, we at the ELC, we see it the same way too. We're all in this together, as opposed to at each other, you know, against each other. So I appreciate that. But I also think it was important to just highlight, you know, from your perspective, Black media is a very, very important element to our truth.
It is.
For the world to understand, not only for ourselves, but for the population at large. So I really applaud the fact that you've taken this on, and that this is a part of your direction with Ebony and Jet, in addition to all that's going on with your friends, as you mentioned it, around you, you know. So you're concluding your first year, Michelle. Here's an opportunity. What can we expect in the year ahead? But in addition, how can Black executives and organizations like the ELC support you? You
know, I think, thank you for asking me that question. So, I talked about a lot of things that we're going to be doing. So you're going to see us launching a lot of content through Ebony Studios. We have some amazing content deals. We're going to go into our archives and pull those stories out that were such important stories in the magazine that now can actually live on its own, because the topics, unfortunately, are still relevant today, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Ebony Institute, I don't talk a lot about. It's my baby. It's near and dear. If we're not moving our businesses forward and our community forward based on data and insights, we're doing nothing, because unless you have those, you can't measure the outcome. And so the Institute will allow people to interact with our archives, to license our amazing repertoire of Black history. Matter of fact, we're the biggest repository of Black history in the world. And so how can this community help me? How can the world help me? Go and download and be part of our community. Make sure you sign up and get our newsletter and see what we're doing. Give us feedback. People want to say, I want you, Michelle, like, I don't even know people, I want you to succeed, but are you helping me? Yeah. Are you engaging with the site on a daily basis? Are you sharing it with your community? And if it's not good enough for you to do that, tell me, like, send me a note. I'm so easy to find. And so I need people to interact with me on a daily basis for me to make sure that I can continue to grow my business.
Wow. Michelle, it has been so great speaking with you today. Thank you for providing greater insight into the state of Black media today, and for sharing how the ELC and other Black executives can support you in your mission to restore the brand reputation for such an iconic brand as Ebony. Yeah. I'm sure any current and aspiring CEO can appreciate your transparency around the lessons you've learned in your first year. I know I certainly can. And I wish you continued success, my friend, and want you to know the ELC is here to lend our support along the way.
And we are here to help you guys in any way we can too, because this is reciprocal. So thank you, Mike. It's been a pleasure. And thank you to the ELC family for having me.
Awesome. And to our viewers, as always, thank you for joining us. I wish you all a safe, joyous, and prosperous holiday season. Stay tuned for details about our next ELC CEO LinkedIn chat in January 2022. Take care.